Hey, this is Curts, and in this video we're going to take a look at a trick for adding a text box to a Google document, something you're normally not able to do. Now, Google Docs is a fantastic online word processor with a lot of really neat features that are unique to it that other word processors don't have. Having said that, there's also some things that Google Docs doesn't do that other word processors do. For example, inserting text boxes. That's a pretty normal thing that you can do in a word processor, but in Google Docs, if you go up to the Insert menu and give a click, you're going to notice, well, unfortunately, text box is not one of the options there. So, how can we do this? Well, actually, it's a little bit of a roundabout method. Turns out that even though we can't insert a text box directly into a Google Doc, we can go to the Insert menu and insert a drawing. And in a drawing, you guessed it, you can insert a text box into the drawing, which we will then insert the drawing into the document. So a couple of steps there to get it done, but it does work, and it does give you an option for now until Google Docs has that natively built in. So let's give that a try. So what I'm going to do is I'll just put my cursor right here at the start of this paragraph. That's where I'm going to insert my text box. And I'm going to go up to the Insert menu, give that a click, and go down to Drawing. Now when I click on Insert Drawing, it's going to pop open this box here, which is sort of like a miniature version of Google Drawings. If you're used to that program, a lot of this will look familiar. If you're not, you definitely should check out Google Drawings. Really powerful diagramming and drawing tool. What we're going to focus on, though, is how to put a text box inside of our drawing. So in our little pop-up window here, you'll notice we've got our toolbar, and one of those buttons there is for a text box. I'm going to give a click on that button, and it's going to change my mouse to a crosshair. I can now click and drag out a text box. And once I get that text box dragged out there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some text in there. So let me just go ahead and copy and paste in some sample text. And actually, I'll paste it in a whole bunch of times. So we've got it in there a whole lot. Excellent. There we go. And now that I've got that text in that text box, you can really do whatever you would want to that text like you normally would with formatting. So I could come in here and highlight all that text. And if you go up to that menu bar, you may not see the buttons you're looking for right away, but if you go to the More button on the far right and click that, you'll suddenly see the stuff that you're missing. For example, we could change the font. If we don't want it to be Arial, change it to Open Sans or something else. If we want to change the size, certainly we could change that to a larger or smaller size, however we might want. We'll go ahead and leave that at 14 for now. That's fine. If we want to make it bold or italicized or maybe change the font color, we could certainly do that just as easily. We'll go ahead and leave that black for now, though. In addition to that, there are some other buttons here that control things like centering or right or left justifying, and also pushing it to the top, middle, or bottom of the text box itself, so we can center it horizontally and vertically as well. If you want to make the text box a bit bigger or smaller as need be, no problem. Just grab the little blue corners and kind of shrink that up or stretch that out however you need that to be until you get it the size that you would like that to be. In addition to editing the text itself inside, we can also edit the box. So if I click on the box here, you'll notice I've got a few options up here in the toolbar, including a fill color. So if I want to fill the box in with a different color, no problem at all. Just choose a color and it'll fill it in. And then if I want a line going around the box, there's a line color button right next to there. Give that a click and just pick a line color. We'll just stick with black for now. And now if I click off of it, you can see the box actually has a line going around it. In addition to the line color, there's two other buttons. There's a line weight if you want to make it thicker or thinner, and there's also a line dash button if you want to do dotted or dashed lines as well. So you can make a lot of adjustments to that text box until you get something that looks exactly the way you would like it to be. So we'll go ahead and we'll just go with that for now. That'll be our text box. When you're all done with your text box, all you need to do is go up to the top right-hand corner where it says Save and Close. And when we click that, it's going to take this text box and insert it into our document. So let's go ahead and click Save and Close. Give that a moment, and there it is. Drops that text box right into our document. Now, it's very much like an image, meaning that if I click on it, I'll get some options here for wrapping. There's inline, wrap text, and break text. Most of the time, you're probably going to want to pick wrap text. If I click on wrap text, now all the text on the page wraps around the text box. So as I click and drag it around the page, the text will wrap around it, put it wherever I might want that to be. And again, if it's too large or too small, you can adjust the size here as well. Just grab the little blue handles, make it smaller or make it larger, whatever works for you. Now, if you do need to edit the text, unfortunately, you can't edit it inside of the Google document. That would be perfect if we could just click on here and type in some new text, and hopefully eventually that will be an option. We'll just be able to insert a text box directly and edit it right in Docs. If you do need to edit it, well, you're going to have to click on it and either choose edit or give a double click on it, because what that's going to do is it's going to open it again inside of Google Drawings. So the actual editing has to occur there. So if I were to come here and say, you know what, instead of it being kind of more squarish like this, let's make it more rectangular. Let's drag it out a bit more. So we'll make it shorter and wider. If I wanted to do that, I'd have to make that change, or if I wanted to change the text, I'd have to change that inside of Google Drawings. Then I could hit save and close to send it back. Now you will notice that I did change the shape of that box, and when I do send it back, what it does is it tries to fit it into the same amount of width as it was before. So you'll notice it probably gets a little bit cramped when I do that. Let's hit save and close. And you see it makes it a little bit smaller than I intended. It always sticks with whatever the width was most recently. So you may have to stretch it out a little bit to make it larger again. And again, like I said, just go ahead and give it a double click anytime. If there's an adjustment that you want to make here, maybe make it a little bigger, a little smaller, save and close, and boom, you'll be right back to that in your document. So for now, until we have a native option to insert text boxes, you can instead insert a drawing, and then insert that text box in the drawing, and then insert the drawing into your Google Doc to be able to add text boxes into a Google document. If you'd like to see a little bit more about this, maybe some written out steps, head over to my blog at controlaltachieve.com. I've got a specific blog post that goes through these same steps in a nice bulleted format. You'll find that at controlaltachieve.com/docs-text-box. That link will dump you right into that blog post where you can get some more details and read through those step-by-step directions there. And while you're at the website, be sure to check out the other blog posts as well as all of the resources I have created and collected on the site, as well as my webinars. Do a couple of those each month. Those are all freely available for you to access. And finally, there's a newsletter there you can sign up for to stay in the loop on everything new. Thanks so much for watching the video, and see you next time.